Dave Sider, baby. This is for Rock Radio UK. And today I'm speaking to Druidess. Hello.
Hi, Dave.
Oh, hey, Dave.
Hey, three quarters of you today. We seem to be a fellow missing.
Yeah, Sam couldn't make it.
Never mind.
He said he couldn't make it. Sam forgot, I think, but we'll let him off.
All right.
Oh,
He's a hard-working man.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's Newcastle's every band drummer.
Okay.
Personal.
Druidess, you're new to me, but I have been listening to you on iTunes. So you've had a new EP out. You've done a little bit of a tour as well. But tell me, how did Druidess come to be in the first place?
Yeah, it was kind of like a chance meeting of me and Danny. We all go to like the same gigs and stuff like this. So yeah, just coming together of like-minded souls. But yeah, Danny, you explain. It was mostly your connections.
Yeah, I guess so. Me and Shona met at a Kal-El gig. I don't know if you know Kal-El. They're a Norwegian kind of stoner band. And yeah, it's surprising that me and Shona didn't already know each other, both being in Newcastle. But yeah, we kind of met through a mutual friend of ours. And then we had a few beers and decided to jam some songs, I guess. And during the lockdown, I'm kind of working on a little bit of some of the songs. So we had a starting point from there, I guess, and then we found other members to join, and we're now working on our debut album. So
okay, so describe to the viewers and the listeners and the magazine readers what is Druidess? Who are you? What is your sound, and so on and so forth. James, you've been very quiet. You can take this one.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess like I joined the band relatively recently, but like the songs that were written before I was there, they're very much like Black Sabbath worship. Is basically where it is, but it's done with a bit of humor to it. You know, that the songs are fun, the riffs are nice. Like I was chatting to Danny, and he was sort of explaining how they were trying to like trigger keyboard parts in the live show and that kind of thing. That all sounded very complicated. And I suggested maybe they wanted a keyboard player, hence how I joined the band. But so like the sounds almost 2 more hands than me. Yeah, a few more hands. The sounds maybe evolved a little bit from the EP now that we've got kind of heavy organ, or almost like a Deep Purple sound. You know, I'm not John Lord, but I do my best to get the sound there. But and then it's a bit of it's kind of like having a laugh is infused into it as well. I think we try and tell stories in the songs, but in a humorous way. That it quite often starts off with quite a serious subject, and by the time Shauna's put it's gone a little bit awry, perhaps.
Shauna, do you actually agree with this?
No, I do. Like it. I think because we kind of approach everything a bit tongue in cheek, but there is some like real sentiment behind it. But if you've got to be a bit fun with these things, you can't stand up singing about sacrifice and doom and all this stuff like and be completely serious, can you? It's just a bit of escapism, really. I like a bit of storytelling, but I also like seeing if I can make those lot laugh when we're in the practice room. So a lot of the stuff stems from that. But yeah, it's not just in jokes though. People seem to be really enjoying it, getting people singing along at gigs and stuff, which so soon in this journey, feels pretty good.
So Daniel, this was your kind of style of music before Druidess came to be. Or is this just new territory for any of you?
I guess we all like the same type of music, I guess. Really, the only person in the band who's been in similar bands is probably Shona. As I guess mine and James and Sam's other projects that we're involved with are quite different stylistically. Whereas Shona had Juniper Graves, so I guess it's familiar territory for Shona, but maybe not for the rest of us, which I guess keeps it interesting.
Okay.
For us.
Okay,
and
so
hopefully for you.
Hermits and Mandrakes, then how long's that been out?
I think it
that
came
one
out in March, was it? It was Easter time. Yeah, just for Easter.
Okay. So you say you had this sort of written before you all completely come together as a band, maybe?
We
So
had
I
a lot
think
of
we
the
had,
songs. Yeah, we had 4 of the songs in some form.
Right.
Not maybe in the form that we play them now. And then the actual song Hermits of Druid's Temple is a result of being in the practice room and just jamming. So that one was entirely new, and that probably reflects the future direction a little bit better than the other songs. But we've all had an input on the songs at this point to make them a reflection of all of the members in the band.
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Because it's quite a transition between the start of the EP and the end of the EP, because there's so many different, I say stories, but it's each song is so totally unique in itself, a twist on your sound as well. So was that a conscious thing to do?
I think it just kind of happened naturally. So, if we had a certain theme, we tended to lean into that for that particular song. And if there was something particularly interesting, usually that we did by accident, like, when we were jamming, or if I was around Danny's, we were working on something, things would just come out and we just lean into it. And it was always like a slightly different feel. So yeah, we have ended up with like 5 fairly unique sounding songs, but they all, they sound like they've come from the same place. And yeah, with themes from stuff that we listen to. So, you've got that kind of Proto-Doom, Black Sabbath kind of sound, and then you've got, bits of the bluesy stuff if we're listening to a bit of Graveyard that week or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the kind of like homage to the stuff we like listening to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go on.
I think Danny's songwriting leans into that a little bit as well, because Danny's a big fan of like bands playing things that they don't normally play. It's something that gets Danny going.
Yeah.
So Danny
I
will be
think-
like, what about if we throw in a waltz into this part of the song for what would that sound like? So they do
need to
tend to
write a
be
waltz
these
now,
like
don't we?
wild ideas come out of Danny's mind sometimes as to where some of the songs should go.
Yeah, I think as well, just to elaborate on that point a little bit, is I do like it when bands do something else, but they still sound like that band. And I guess, yeah, I guess to use Opeth, who are one of my favorite bands, as an example, they span a range of genres, but you can always tell it sounds like them. And I think that's something that I'm drawn to, is trying to do that. Keeps it interesting, and I think if you can communicate your style in a different style, I think you're doing something well at that point.
Yeah, it keeps the audience interested. It keeps you going, searching for the next song, rather than saying, "Oh, I've heard this 3 or 4 times already." So, yeah, I mean, which is Sabbath, the first main track of the album. It is very Black Sabbath, I've got to say. You can't. Nobody can take that away from you, I'm afraid. But I mean,
Yeah.
But for me, it's refreshing as well, because you've actually done it in a style that's not a complete rip-off of Black Sabbath. It's just something that they didn't actually write and put female vocals with it, and it's really good. I really like that.
And
Took me
when we
back.
do it live, Danny plays sax as well, and it's a bit different as well.
I was going to ask about that. Because on the PRI tape, you've got guitarist and saxophonist, and I thought, hang on a minute. How do these two things work together on Druidess EP?
Yeah, on the EP, there isn't any sax on that, because we kind of just got that together just to have an example of what we sound like, and we wanted to just release something. We are in the process of, well, we will be going into the studio in August.
Okay.
And we'll be re-recording the songs with the saxophone bits that we play live. But it is, yeah, when we play live, it is a lot of juggling instruments and swapping things on stage.
Very
and stuff.
smooth transitions is what you want to say there, Danny. It's like no one notices.
But yeah, I think going forwards on the album, there is another track which we're planning on having saxophone on, so it'll become, I'm sure, more prominent over time. But yeah, we've got ideas of how we integrate that.
Okay. Well, rather than me talk about the EP, I mean, I've just picked on Witch's Sabbath because, yeah, as I've said, all the other songs though are all, like I've said before, are completely different. I love Nightingales as well, and then the Hermit of the Druids Temple is, well, I wouldn't say it's a pop song as such, but it was, you know, it can be a very popular sounding song for many people to actually dig from very different genres coming together and, you know, pull together and say, yeah, we all like this. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, was that a conscious decision to reach out further than the initial genre you've been tagged with so far?
I think
Yeah,
so. Yeah.
that was one of the ones that we wrote like towards the end, so we were just starting to like, you know, jam more, I guess, and come up with new ideas. That wasn't a lockdown one.
Yeah, I think a lot of our songs can tend to be quite long. So Mandragora and The Hermit are two examples of us doing the kind of more pop orientated songwriting style. And I think it's a good contrast to the other songs, which are obviously a lot longer. I think it was a chat. I have a habit of writing long songs. I think me and Shona both have a habit of writing long songs. So I think it was a bit of a challenge to write. Can we actually write a short song in some way, you know?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I present a breakfast show, which is basically rock orientated. I can't go too heavy, I can't go too dark, even though that's some of my passion. But I play Hermit in the morning
Oh,
because I think,
brilliant.
you know, I would play that out. I'm just thinking, yeah, that is really good. I mean, that would please a lot of people. I don't know if it'll wake them up with a smile on their face, but I'm happy to play it.
Yeah, it sounds more cheerful than it is. The song's about a real guy who lived in Druid's Temple in Ripon, which is like about an hour north of us. Sorry, south of us. And when you read this story about this kind of guy who was kept as like a garden hermit in someone's kind of Stonehenge themed garden for like 4 years, it's quite miserable and it's quite sad. And we just thought it was completely bonkers. So yeah, we decided to write a song about it as if it was a kind of like tourist attraction ad from like the 1700s. But then
Okay.
give it a really like upbeat feel, like so it was completely ridiculous. So yeah, that again was just another example of us doing something that we thought was quite funny, and then it turned into a thing.
And the Forest Witch, you know, Forest Witch's daughter. Sorry. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, so that one was like a collection of Danny-esque riffs, which were just like absolutely banging riffs, and we were just like loving, you know, playing it. And then, you know, started messing around with a few like vocal patterns. We kind of wanted something a bit bluesy in there. And yeah, it's essentially a kind of about hearsay, you know, the age-old story. You take up a new hobby, and everyone in the village just assumes you're a witch. So yeah, it's just basically about not the actual real thing. It's all about the kind of hearsay in the stories about someone who's just into falconry, and they're just calling her a witch or daughter of a forest witch. And
It's actually from the music side of that song, it's quite a funny one, really. So I'd written probably 95% of the song way before lockdown happened. I think it was maybe 2017, maybe 2016. I can't exactly remember when, but I'd basically done that, and I was originally going to do it in like the style of like I Hate God, who we were actually playing with in December. So
in December.
to write
Okay.
those riffs from you know, trying to write riffs in that style to actually sharing a stage and play, well, we're going to play this song, is quite it's quite special. I think it's quite a nice opportunity.
Okay, James, have you got anything to say about any of the songs on the EP?
So like I say, like from my perspective, I joined after the hard part was done. They'd already got them all written, and I just came and said I'll just be a live member and play them live. But to be honest with you, since then it kind I'm very good at this. I'll be like, yeah, I'll just do this, and I'll have very little input, and then I'll suddenly once I'm involved in something, I try and get too involved, and so now we're sort of working on newer stuff, the new songs. I'm
Yeah.
maybe putting a little bit more input into those ones now.
Okay,
I think, yeah, James, I think with your particular approach to songwriting, I think you like to just get given the chords, and then you'll hear a bit and you'll do something with your right hand that's like complements what we're doing, and it's quite a good way of writing together, because I think James kind of likes to come up with things on the spot rather than like premeditating something. And correct me
Okay.
if I'm wrong there, but that's what we've
No, I
noticed.
don't like homework. It all happens at band practice.
So you're writing the next album, well, the first debut album, and you're re-recording these songs. I mean, what are we going to expect from the new album?
I guess,
So I
yeah,
think
more of the same, but
more of the same nonsense, but fuller and with more of I think you'll definitely get to hear James and Sam's kind of influences coming out there. They've definitely like shaped the songs a bit more. They definitely put their own spin on them. So it won't be, a cut and paste of what you've heard already. It'll have the Druidess flavor, but with the new Druidess sound. And then, yeah, what were you going to say, Danny?
basically that. Yeah, I think we're aiming for like 9 or 10 tracks. So we've got obviously the 5 tracks from the EP,
Mhm.
and then we've got four new tracks. One of them is really long. We've got like an interlude song, kind of
Okay.
a softer side which we've not explored. There is a few more like more psychedelic, like kind of desert rock psych kind of moments there as well. So we're kind of trying to bring in all of the influences and kind of get a collection of songs that kind of represents us at this point in time.
Okay. Okay. When are you sort of aiming for a release date? I mean, you said you've booked what, end of August for studio time?
End of August, yeah. So I think the plan at the moment is we would say early next year,
Right.
but it depends on vinyl pressing and timelines of that and such. So it may get pushed to summer, but we're aiming for as close to the beginning of next year as we can.
Mm. So you're also taking note of everybody at the moment. It's just like pouring your money into merchandise as much as you are recording. So, pre-sales of albums, I suppose, is essential.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
moment we're selling it for 50 pence on Bandcamp, so it's we're hammering the t-shirts at the moment rather than the
Okay.
album. But,
So have you got a website, or are you just relying on Bandcamp for your merch sales for the moment?
just Bandcamp.
Yeah. So where can people go to Bandcamp?
Yeah, so it's druidessuk.bandcamp.com.
Cool. And they can get the EP and t-shirts. Anything else there for the moment?
That's
it for now.
They are really good t-shirts though.
No, are they?
Yeah,
Right.
I think we need to do a stock count on the t-shirts after we did the tour, and then I think we're getting a few sizes redone, and then they'll be available on Bandcamp once we've done that. So the t-shirts aren't there at the moment. It is set up and all ready to go on Bandcamp, but we just need to do some internal admin stuff, I guess. And then the EP's there, 50p or pay what you like, kind of thing. So you can access that already on Bandcamp, and then we've obviously got our Instagram and Facebook
What was
for all
nice
of the news.
a couple of days ago, actually, one of our friends had filmed out when we played our debut gig, which was the end of March. I want to say the 31st of March. We played a tiny little 60 cap room in Newcastle with Josiah and St. Karloff, and one of our friends had set up 3 or 4 cameras, so we've got a nice sort of multicam version of that, and he put that on YouTube a couple of days ago in its entirety, and it's
Okay.
that's quite a fun one. I quite enjoyed watching that one back. Yeah.
Yeah, I might
Very
tag that
good
in the
still
interview
from
as
that
well.
one.
So, okay. So live gigs, that leads me to the last and final question. I mean, I missed you at Bristol, which I'm actually ashamed to say, because you played the Griffin
Oh,
there,
that
I
was a
believe.
great gig. We had
Griffin,
so much
yeah.
fun
Oh,
there.
well, no, please don't.
It was our last one as well, so we were just like, just really enjoying it, making the most of it. But yeah, it was great.
So what have you got
We'll be
coming up?
back.
So in August we're going to Helgies in Hackney in London, and we're
Right.
really looking forward to that one. That was a nice one to be offered. It's their birthday gig or birthday weekend celebration. I think it's their 6th year now, and it's one of those bars we've all just wanted to go to. So to actually get to go and play on their birthdays, pretty nice for us, really. So
Yeah.
that one we're looking forward to. And then we've got a
Yeah.
Halloween gig booked up in Glasgow. Sean has threatened to make us all dress up, which I assume is going to happen. That's at the Flying Duck, and that's playing with a bunch of other witchy-ish bands. Quite a nice little party on Halloween on a school night, I guess. But there we go. We've got Biker Grave Festival in Newcastle, where we're from, of course. That's Saturday, the 7th of December. That's the one Danny mentioned with I Hate God, Goat Horde, Discharge, Marguerite Witch Cult, Ard. There's quite a lot of, it's a pretty solid lineup. I think we're going to be opening the day for that one, because then we can have a drink afterwards and not have to
Enjoy the rest of the
not have
day.
to be responsible for anything.
Okay.
And then
And
yeah, there's a couple more that haven't been announced yet, but we're a band that likes to play live. We enjoy it. It's fun. We're pretty much not much. I don't think there's much we'd turn down at the moment if we were available for it.
yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you for your time. I won't hold you up very much longer. I do like the EP. It's just
Thanks so much.
something fresh for me, because like I said, there's so many like twists and turns. It's not all the same sound, and it's great. It's fantastic. I urge anybody to go out and listen to it. I urge anybody to go and pay 50p for it, because that is peanuts, to be fair. And guys, I wish you all the very best, and hopefully when you're in Bristol or even Exeter next, I will actually come along and see you guys, because
Well, that'd be great.
It's
Yeah,
good.
definitely come along. And we'd love to go back, because we had such a blast. Like
Yeah.
those few gigs down south. But yeah, Bristol was
I think we're
a highlight.
I think we're planning on a jaunt all the way to Plymouth. So the first gig of the tour we did was down to Portsmouth,
Yeah.
which we did in one drive from Newcastle, and we decided that's not
Same the
fast.
same
So I
day.
think we're gonna. The plan is Plymouth next year, I think.
Plymouth. Now, well, yes, there's the Cavern or the Junction, which two very good venues in Plymouth. So
But we're trying to get some gigs either side, so it's not such a long trek for one gig. So
that could well
hopefully
include
we'll be
Bristol
back.
again, couldn't it?
Yeah.
well, guys,
Hopefully.
thank you very much.
Right,
Druidess.
cheers.
Thanks so much, Dave.
Cheers,
Lovely
Dave.
chatting to you.